I've been reflecting on the importance as a neurodivergent of having a purpose. Throughout my life, I've been trying to identify what my life's mission is and how to pursue that, and also how to pursue one that will enable me to survive materially, financially. I've had multiple interests, as many of us do, because we tend to be multi-passionate. And I don't think that I've jumped willy-nilly between them. I think that I've tried one, doggedly pursued that passion. In my case, it was filmmaking at one point, another journalism, and hoped that I could turn it into a viable career, and that didn't quite work out, or it seemed like I couldn't progress. And having a purpose is really important, but also being able to have a sense of constant progression is really important to people who are neurodivergent. And it's when you hit those walls where you feel like you haven't identified your progress, you don't know where you're going, and you're not able to actually progress along a path and get some sense of progress. Partially, I mean, there are lots of explanations for this, possible explanations. Many of us get a sense of, many of us have dopamine dysregulation, and we get dopamine from hitting our goals, and it's a nice, fulfilling sense of purpose. As human beings, we also, this biochemical kind of function aside, we do like to feel purposeful and like we're doing something meaningful in our lives, and having a purpose, a vocation, can help tick that box. Many of us might be more systems oriented than people oriented, so careers are systems or things. They take priority, whereas relationships take a backseat, and we kind of orient ourselves towards pursuing the thing that we're passionate about. And when I say passion, it's sometimes what's referred to as special interests. Many of us have multiple special interests, but a lot of us also want to dedicate a lot of our time towards pursuing, let's say, one or two. And hopefully, in some cases, turning that into a vocation. There are some people who don't want to turn their passion into a vocation, and with good cause feel cynical about the idea that we should have to make money out of a thing that is a source of passion. That makes a lot of sense to me. But at the end of the day, I do think we as human beings and as neurodivergents need the sense of purpose and progress. And when we don't have that, when we're hitting the wall, our mental health can take a dip. We start to feel like we're adrift in life, like there's no point living sometimes, like what is our function here? And when you look at your broader life, and many of us have this challenge, we might not feel embedded in social groups. We might not feel like we have strong friendships, strong interpersonal relationships, family relationships. And in the absence of that, what do we have? We have our hobbies and we have our passions. We have our things rather than our people. And it's natural that therefore we might want to turn to those things for a sense of fulfillment or meaning. And when we don't have that, or when it doesn't seem purposeful, like we can't progress in a meaningful way with that passion, then it's like, what else is there really? And I'm a big advocate for diversifying our focus, so we're not just focusing on things, we're also focusing on people. But I know at the end of the day, speaking for myself at least, that there is no substitute for having a vocation and being able to pursue that vocation. I know that in my life, when I've really felt like I've hit a wall and I've stalled and that I've slumped into depression and bad anxiety, it's been because I've not felt like I was making any kind of substantial progress towards my vocation or in service of what I see as my life calling. I know that when I'm able to apply myself to that, everything else falls by the wayside. And as a recovering workaholic, I can do crazy amount of hours towards my vocation and passion, not to the extent that I self-sacrifice. I have a very good self-care regimen, and I think that's really key. And as a mental health practitioner, I'm a strong advocate for that. And I have balance, but I feel like there's nothing adverse to me about, let's say, dedicating a strong portion of my week towards doing something I'm passionate about, and that I feel like is serving a real important role in our society. And in my case, it's therapy and talking about mental health topics and advocating for neurodivergence and educating other people about what it means to be neurodivergent and some of the challenges and some of the successes that we experience. So by all means, I don't think that if you pursue that, all the other stuff is immaterial to me. All the other challenges, it kind of fades into the background because I'm doing the thing that I think I've been put on this planet to do by the universe. And so everything seems much more hopeful, and I seem to have a clear purpose, and I don't have to distress or despair about things because that to me has made everything clear. And a lot of people get their sense of purpose and meaning in being socially embedded in like religious communities and social communities, in workplaces, in academia, whatever it is. They get their sense of meaning from that, the social embedded factor. Whereas we need to know that what we're doing is we're doing something that we feel is fulfilling and actually serves a function and maybe contributes to society. And I think you can have all of them, but I know that I, personally speaking, skew a lot more towards that sense of vocation. I feel like a lot of our mental health challenges can be addressed if we're able to do that. And our society is not geared towards finding slots into which we fit and helping us fit into them. We're often like a square peg in a round hole, and we can't, like, either our inclinations aren't being funneled towards, or our passions aren't being funneled towards a viable vocation, or we're struggling to translate, or we might not have the necessary skills to do that, or we might not have the exact guidance, or we're struggling with a lot of the internal, like, soul searching and meaning making and vocation jumping and passion exploration that we do that makes it hard to nail those things down. I feel like with the right support, we can nail those things down and we can find our vocation. And I think our mental health will vastly improve because we have a sense of purpose and meaning and fulfillment in the world. Have you found your vocation? What has your search been like to find your vocation? Have you found that your mental health improves, that you feel a lot better about yourself and your place in the world when you have a clear sense of where you're going and you can make viable progress towards that routinely? What are your thoughts? What have your experiences been like? I would love to hear from you.